Whatever kind of classroom you may find yourself walking into, Empowering Educators is the spark, the anchor, and the perspective you need. It is your quick hit of clarity and perspective, crafted for teachers who want to teach with purpose, build stronger relationships, and create classrooms where students thrive. Think of it as your daily dose of good practice in action. Practical, grounded, and designed to create spaces where students feel seen, safe, and ready to learn, while also allowing teachers to find their own authentic flow. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to Empowering Educators. This is Ben Russell from Empowerment Ed. Today's episode is going to focus on classroom management and behaviour, specifically on the art of entry routines. This is perhaps one of the most crucial phases of a lesson, and when mastered, it sets you up for a calm, focused, and productive learning environment for all involved. Yet we've all been there when a lesson hasn't started well. You know the feeling. You're 5-10 minutes in, and you've been playing catch-up since minute 1. Precious time is lost, and you feel as if you're down love 30, and you've been thrown off your game even before you've hit your first stride. And look, in a small number of cases, this is out of your control. Things happen. But there are a number of techniques we can implement that ensure we're doing everything within our influence to set the tone for how we want the lesson to run. Before we get into those techniques, it's worth centering ourselves in what an entry routine actually is. In simple terms, it's everything that happens from the moment you arrive at the classroom door, to students walking in, to you beginning your instruction for the lesson. It's essentially the choreography of the first few minutes, and when done well, it communicates calm, clarity, and confidence. Having an entry routine ensures the mood or tone is set for your lesson, and as the relational manager of the room, you're signalling the norms, expectations, and atmosphere you want. Ideally, one that is calm, welcoming, and focused. The art of effective entry routines can be broken down into 3 main areas: everything that happens outside the room prior to entry, the threshold point, and settling into instruction, or the first phase of the lesson. Let's start with everything that occurs outside the room prior to entry, because this is where the magic or the chaos often begins. It often gets overlooked, but it's a foundational element to our entry routine. The way students line up, the way you greet them, the way you frame your expectations, all set the emotional temperature for how they walk into your classroom. What might this look like? It's really up to you, but some common ones include 2 lines, a quick reset through a narrated countdown, or a simple, explicit explanation of your expectations before entry. And yes, I would argue this applies no matter what the age you're teaching. Predictability is the gift you can give to all students. The key in this is consistency. Students should know exactly what the routine is and then follow up on that routine every single time. Secondly is that threshold point, because whether students are coming into your class after lunch, at the start of the day, or even straight from another lesson, the simple reality is that the environment they were just in is different to what yours is going to be. The social norms of the playground are not the same norms in your classroom. The energy or tone of a previous subject mightn't match yours or what you're looking for your lesson. The threshold point, that moment students move from the outside world into your learning environment, is the opportunity to set the tone you wish. Think of the threshold point as a psychological doorway as much as a physical one. And when used intentionally, it becomes a clear transition point where students know, okay, this is where Mr. or Mrs. expectations begin. To maximize the efficacy of the threshold, there are a number of practices that teachers can use before students enter that threshold point. And one little piece of gold that I wish to share with you today that was shared to me was the idea of setting up your room prior. Ideally, of course, we want to arrive before the students arrive. But even if you're running late, taking 1 minute to rearrange the space, have the lights on, aircon on, projector ready and working, resources out, sends a clear message to students that as soon as they enter your room, no time is going to be wasted. We're starting. I'm teaching, you're learning. Then comes the actual threshold moment, as students pass through the door. This is your chance for individual correction and standard setting. Some teachers are the handshake at the door type of person. We've all seen the video where you've got the guy that gives 30 individual handshakes, and good on him. But that's not a lot of people, and that's not me. Others prefer a warm greeting, a check-in, or a simple nod of acknowledgement. Whatever yours might be, I aim for an 80% one-on-one touchpoint connection. While this is also occurring, it's a great opportunity to correct uniform infringements or simply check to make sure all the equipment has been brought in. As students are walking into your classroom, I would be standing in what is called the influence position. That is, being in a position where you've got eyes inside the classroom and also outside the classroom. Of course, that needs to be practically appropriate for your classroom too. Thirdly, transitioning into instruction. Once students are inside, the routines continue. And a lot of those routines depend upon what your whole school norms are. Depending upon what those are, they could be a do now, standing behind chairs until you greet the class, a quick retrieval task, or simply waiting for calm before beginning. Whatever your routine is and whatever your school's routines are, make them predictable. Predictability reduces anxiety, which reduces behaviour issues and increases readiness to learn. An errated count can work wonders in the middle school, or in the senior school, a simple thank you. Let's begin. The goal here is control, clarity, and calm. If you're in a leadership role, think about the bigger picture. What does your whole school approach look like for entry routines? Is there a shared language or routine that helps students transition smoothly between subjects? And how do you create your own school shared language that creates a consistent, supportive structure that also allows teachers to bring their own personality to the room? Then, of course, come the yeah, but moments. That, Ben, what if I've done everything well, everything correctly, and students still make a poor choice and choose to disrupt? Well, how you respond to that, of course, depends upon the context. If the whole class is off and has entered like a zoo, you might need to press pause, get them outside, and restart trying again. If it's just a couple of students, perhaps asking those one or two individuals to do so. And even if it's one or two students, but their behaviour level's quite low, but you feel like you need to do something about it, it might just be taking a note and follow up later privately to ensure the lesson flows smoothly. Whether you're a classroom teacher, middle leader, or senior leader, it is worth having a serious think about how your school sets up your entry routines across the entire campus to ensure that students are set and ready for learning from the very first minute. That's all for today's episode of Empowering Educators. If you're keen to dive deeper into more of what we do for both teachers and students at Empowerment Ed, or explore our face-to-face professional learning opportunities, head to www.empowerment-ed.com.au to see what we're building for educators like you. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care.